We all know the Lions 2022 draft class was fantastic. In fact, it's kind of funny. Brad Holmes was talking about how the 2022 he was getting some people asking why the 2022 class was so much better than 2021. And I think he had a funny tongue-in-cheek response of, "Oh, 2021, you mean the draft class with St. Brown and Sewell?" So I think we can all safely say this was his second good draft class in a row. But how good were they? And in here, one major publication, PFF, already has their rankings out of what they believe to be the best draft classes now that the year is over. The year is completely over. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. They're ranking the top classes. That picture gives away a little hint, but here we go. Number one is the New York Jets. And I just want to talk about them for a second because honestly, it wasn't that close. It really wasn't that close. Sauce Gardner arguably was the best player drafted. So was Hutchinson. Don't worry, I'm getting there. Garrett Wilson had the most productive season for any wide receiver as a rookie. Jermaine Johnson played well, and Breece Hall, until he got hurt, was the best rookie running back in the league. And then we'll get to who the second best rookie running back was in the league when we get to our number 2 ranked team, and that's the Seattle Seahawks. As you can see, grade-wise, it wasn't that close. But something both or all of these teams have in common is guys that were drafted, and except for the Jets so much, but guys were drafted late that were major contributors. Breece Hall was a second rounder. That's the guy they got the most out of. They got some work out of Clemens. But when you look at the Seahawks, they kind of were similar to us. Round one, they have their starting left tackle in Charles Cross. He played okay. He was fine. All right. And then round two, they got Mafe and Walker starting, what is that, linebacker, and then running back. So they're doing well in that. But then what you can see here is in the third round, they got a starter, and Abraham Lucas. And in the fourth round, a guy who was starting or at least playing a very large amount of snaps by the end of the year, and Kobe Bryant. Weird to say that, at least it's spelled differently. And then the steal of the draft. I mean, as much as we love Malcolm Rodriguez, to see Tariq Woolen, I mean, that dude was an absolute stud as a corner this year, and he will be for a long time to come. Like, that staying power, the speed, his ability to play is phenomenal, and that's a 5th round pick. So are the Lions 3? You bet you they are absolutely 3. And here's what we can see from the Lions is we hit on our first pick, Aiden Hutchinson. Jameson Williams did not play enough to give an accurate grade of, even though I think most of us would be slightly disappointed. Pascal didn't play a ton, but then what you see is good PFF grades and good production out of our 3rd through 7th round. Kirby Joseph played fantastic, probably the 3rd best rookie safety that was drafted, and it was all the way back in the 3rd round. James Mitchell didn't play a ton of snaps, was effective when he did. Malcolm Rodriguez, Rodrigo, this is our guy. This is everybody's guy. Everybody loves Rodriguez, and my hope is that he can stay healthy through his career. He started getting beaten up as the season moved on, and I think that is in part because of his size, but also in part because he's a rookie getting thrown into the fire at a very physical position. And then we have James Houston, who was just phenomenal. So I don't think there's too much to be thinking of that's too bad there. So the Detroit Lions class ranks 3rd. And if you want, you know what, let's take a look at this and let's round out the top 5 quickly. And then you let me know if you think we ranked in the correct spot. You have the Kansas City Chiefs. Not bad, but what they didn't get again was a ton of, except Jalen Watson, a ton of snaps. They didn't get over 1,000 snaps from any of their rookies, which I know 1,000 snaps is a lot. And then the Dallas Cowboys, and Tyler Smith was a good pickup for them. So I think it really is a 3-horse race when you look at the grades and all. Let me know. Do you think the Lions deserve number 3? I think the Jets clearly get number 1. And I don't think you can argue with it. Not even close. The Lions rookies did a phenomenal job. And when you combine it with last year's 2021 class, Wow, it is a great 2-year stretch, and I'm wondering if anybody's 2-year stretch would really match up against the Lions, but they don't do that. People don't look back that far. I think the Jets are for sure the winner, and then I think it is between the Lions and the Seahawks for number 2. I think it's close, but I also think with the Seahawks, you might want to give them the nod because both teams had a lot of rookies contributing, and I know it's like rubbing salt in the wound. It is. It is, but it's kind of like, all right, we got to give it to the team whose rookies produced a playoff appearance. Now, they did get absolutely hammered by the 49ers, but they hung around for a half and they have good players. And I think Woolen might have a little more staying power for longevity and career than Rodriguez does, but not necessarily Houston. So, and the only reason I say that with Rodriguez is just he's a middle linebacker. He gets beat up and he's slightly undersized. So I'm just interested to see how healthy he can stay. But there you have it. Lions, third in 2022. What does Brad Holmes have up his sleeve for 2023? You can tell the year's over. He doesn't want it to be over. He wanted them to be a playoff team. But man, oh man, was he excited. You could tell already. It's off season. It's time for him to go out and get his guys. Free agents in the draft. He's pumped. We'll have more videos on all of this stuff coming up. Don't you worry about it. We got tons of Lions content coming your way. But what we do know, 2 years of draft class, 2 years of success. Brett Holmes, keep it up. Hey, if you like this stuff, subscribe, hit that button below. Leave a comment if you think we should be 2, 1. Should we be dropped to 4 or 5? I really don't think you can make an argument for 1. I also don't think you could put us any lower than 3. That is as low as we could go. All right.